soaking through and through. And then you handed me a towel, and all I see is you. And even if my house falls down now, I wouldn't have a clue, because you're near me. And I want to thank you.
This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network Limited. We broadcast from our studios at 14 Ocean Boulevard in the Digicel Center, downtown Kingston, Jamaica, transmitting on the FM 90 band, 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne, serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, RevoNews.ai and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Monday, January 12, 2026. Murder trial of former MP Jolyon Silvera set to begin today. Police inspector slapped with cocaine-related charges. Opposition accuses Holness administration of deliberately delaying procurement of body-worn cameras. In regional news, people across Tobago go to the polls today. In international news, the U.S. says it's setting up a meeting with Tehran amid ongoing protests. In sports, Montego Bay United beat Dumbeholden 1-0 at Jarrett Park on Sunday. And in business, the dollar and Wall Street futures slide, but gold jumps amid Trump's criminal indictment threat of Fed chair. The details after the break.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The trial of former MP for Western St. Mary, Jolyon Silvera, is set to get underway in the Home Circuit Court today, Monday. Silvera is charged with the murder of his wife, Melissa Silvera. He's also charged with using a firearm to commit a felony. Melissa Silvera was found dead at the couple's home in Stony Hill, St. Andrew, on November 10, 2023. Initial reports were that the 42-year-old died in her sleep from natural causes, but an autopsy later revealed that she died from gunshot wounds. Silvera was arrested and charged in January 2024. He has been behind bars ever since. Jolyon Silvera served one term as parliamentarian after winning Western St. Mary for the PNP in the 2011 general election. He is being represented by King's Counsel Peter Champagny and Attorney at Law Patrice Riley. The Inspector of Police arrested for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act in St. Andrew last Thursday has been charged. He is a 51-year-old Martin Walker of Greater Portmore, St. Catherine. Inspector Walker has been charged with possession of, dealing in, and trafficking cocaine. Our news centre understands that the charges were laid on Saturday, following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney, Christopher Townsend. Inspector Walker is assigned administrative duties at the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. A member of the Jamaica Defence Force and a mechanic were also arrested along with a policeman on Thursday. Reports are detectives from the Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, FNID, swooped down on a bar in Woodford Park, Kingston 4. Following a search of Inspector Walker's vehicle, 12.5 pounds of cocaine was found. The inspector had initially declined to have the vehicle searched, but our sources say he eventually admitted to a senior FNID officer that the illegal drugs were in his car. It's understood the quantity of the drug has an estimated street value of up to $100 million. The policeman's service pistol, along with 53 rounds, his force ID, and a cell phone were also seized. His first court appearance is being finalized. The opposition People's National Party, PNP, is accusing the Holness administration of deliberately dragging its feet on the procurement of body-worn cameras for the security forces. Opposition spokesman on national security Fitz Jackson says the repeated citing of procurement delays smacks of a lack of urgency on the part of the government.
The issue of the body camera, it has become almost regrettably a kind of political issue because one side or one set of persons are pushing for it and the government is pushing back. What we're talking about is something to be designed in a lab. These are technologies that have been around and are around right across the world. All the elements required is a matter of procurement. Depends on the priority that is placed on it. In government, we have processes for emergency and urgent procurement. We do have that provision. So we can buy things within days and within weeks once it's available and can be sourced.
The matter of body-worn cameras have been a recurring issue in recent times amid concerns about the increase in police fatal shootings. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, says 311 police fatal shootings were recorded last year. This compares to 189 in 2024. A further 17 were recorded up to January 11 this year. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake told Nationwide News in September 2025 that following what he described as a tedious procurement process, a contract had been executed for 1,000 body-worn cameras. But Fitzjackson says he's tired of hearing that body-worn cameras are coming.
The appropriate specification for the equipment to be had, they are attainable. And even if you were to order them, they would have been manufactured long ago.
So your argument then is that there's not sufficient urgency. That's your conclusion?
Exactly. Because if there was urgency to it could have been long attained. You know, one of my colleagues on the other side in government said some years ago, he's not going to applaud announcement, he's going to applaud delivery. Because we have a tendency in Jamaica that once we give something that sounds plausible, we beat our chest and say we give a good explanation, but we have not solved the problem. We have had enough of that because we've been walking this road for a very long time.
Fitzjackson, opposition spokesman on national security. He was a guest on Nationwide at 5 on Friday. Meanwhile, Fitzjackson says while the 41% reduction in homicides in 2025 is welcomed, he now wants to see a comprehensive strategy aimed at ensuring citizens feel safe.
Murder reduction ought to have been and is the welcome goal. So let us be clear on that. The point I was making, while we seek to and we achieve murder reduction, we have to also at the same time seek to ensure that the absence of murder creates a peacefulness and a sense of safety prevail in the communities so that you and that and everyday Jamaicans can feel comfortably safe to go about enjoying their lives, walk the streets late at night, go anywhere they want without the fear of being murdered or any violence.
The country recorded a 31-year low of 673 murders in 2025. The data also showed that robberies increased by 8%, while break-ins rose by 17%. Jackson says stronger community policing is essential to reducing these other crimes.
Domestic violence is a major part of it. The reduction must be pursued simultaneously with a strategy that brings the community with the security forces. Nobody will honestly say that community policing is at the forefront of efforts on the ground. Certainly not in my constituency, I can tell you that, and many others. You want to make it more comprehensive, and most importantly, you want to make sure that it is as sustainable as is possible.
Fitz Jackson, opposition spokesman on national security and a member of parliament for South St. Catherine. President of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, JAPS, Linvern Wright, believes that the competence of students could be compromised because of the options that may be selected by schools under the modified approach being used by the Caribbean Examinations Council, CXC, for the exams set for May-June this year. Under the modified approach, schools will have the option to use only paper 1, which is a multiple-choice exam, and the school-based assessments, SBA.
Just imagine a student doing only a multiple-choice paper, with SBA being 20% of the marks, but a little limited in terms of its range, in terms of the things that it has tested. There are many students who might not have to write a process or do any kind of explanation when it is they just have a multiple-choice paper, because the multiple-choice paper does not give them the option to demonstrate that competence that they may have learned over the years. And it might not put passing at a disadvantage. What it will put down the road at a disadvantage is maybe the competence of someone who has to work for you, who cannot write well, who comes into the media, who cannot write a proper report, because the examination didn't test that particular skill that you want. CXC is meant to do those things.
Under normal circumstances, the format would see students doing paper 1, paper 2, and the SBA. Wright says because multiple choice questions are often repeated, some students find it easy to identify the correct answers.
One of the things that you will notice with the CXC paper is that many of the questions tend to be recurring. I think there may be good work now on the, ensuring that we get more, because to make, and we just have to be careful, because making multiple choice items are very difficult. They're easy to mark, but it's very difficult to construct them because it takes a whole lot, and there's little you can do and add so much and no more. That they are even out there is not CXC's fault. The point I'm making is that in many instances, your paper 2 actually balances out that possibility.
In other words, because there have been so many past papers with multiple choice questions before, and the multiple choice questions are recurring, persons might just look at the past papers and
people just swap them and just look at them. Right.
Linvern Wright, president of JAPS. Meanwhile, Wright is concerned about the number of past and multiple choice CXC papers that he says are being circulated in the public domain.
The fact is that many multiple choice papers for CXC are out there on the street at dime a dozen. If it is that we are going to look at these as the only options that we want to have our children be tested on, then we have got to look at that.
What do you mean they are out there?
Well, one of the things that CXC does is that CXC asks that these papers are not given to students or given to anyone after the exam. The fact is that many of them have been out there for years now. And it's public knowledge, right? Like many people know, or people say it's an open secret. And it might be something that there are many people who might think, we ought not to talk about. But I think that those are things we have to know, because doing well on an exam cannot be the only basis on which we decide that someone is successful. The integrity has to be clear.
Linvern Wright, president of JAPS, and the principal of St. Elizabeth Technical High School, STETS, Keith Wellington, believes that students should write both papers 1 and 2 in this year's CXC exams.
The issue of the students being allowed to do one paper rather than 2, I'm not so sure if that is something that we are in favor of. It's a matter of our personal point of view. I think the students should do both papers.
STETS was one of the schools devastated by Hurricane Melissa. The other parishes in which schools will benefit from CXC's modified approach for the May-June 2026 examinations are Westmoreland, Manchester, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, and St. Anne. Wellington is, however, applauding the move by CXC to extend the time for the submission of school-based assessments.
The delay or the extension of the time for the submission of SBAs will be useful to our students because they have more time now to properly prepare their SBAs.
Keith Wellington, Principal of Stats. Now, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, has warned that 2026 could see a surge in road crashes unless key aspects of the Road Traffic Act are fully enforced. He made the declaration as he bemoaned the number of fatal crashes already recorded since the start of the year.
2026 is going to be filled with more disasters unless we can move quickly to get the demerit point system and other aspects of the Road Traffic Act in place to ensure that we have safe speeds. We have to move quickly to have safe roads. We have to make sure that our people buckle up in front and the back in their cars and wear their helmets. And we have to make sure that we have safe vehicles in this country. Our children's lives are at stake, the lives of the adults are at stake, and the country continues to suffer immeasurably because of the number of road fatalities. We have to do better than this. We can.
According to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, 11 people died in road crashes up to January 11. The latest incident claimed the lives of 4 people, including 3 children in St. Elizabeth on Saturday. The deceased are aged 30, 17, 12, and 10. Reports are about 5:30 p.m. The 4 were traveling in a Toyota Voxy when the driver collided with a Freightliner truck. The 4 were pronounced dead at hospital. PSTEB listed excessive speeding, negligence, and failure to keep in the proper lane as the possible causes of the collision. Dr. Jones says more people have already died on the roads than at this time in 2025.
11 persons have died for the year so far, exceeding the number year to date for last year, which was 10. So in one single crash, we have visited on this country a terrible tragedy. If 4 people died in one crash, we have to wonder whether or not they were unsafe road users. So all these questions carry us back to the safe systems approach, the all-embracing, comprehensive system that we must employ and not just focus on one aspect of it, but all 4, in addition to the moving people quickly from a crash to a hospital.
Dr. Lucian Jones, the Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. Managing Director of the Transport Authority, Ralston Smith, says all is in place for the examination of public passenger vehicles PPVs in preparation for the renewal of road licenses set to expire on March 31.
So what we start tomorrow is really the inspection process. So as part of the preparation for our licensing activities, we are encouraging all our PPV operators to come in and have their vehicles examined, inspected by our certifying officers to determine fitness for use as a public passenger vehicle. So in order to ensure that the safety standards are maintained and the aesthetics that are required for passing the vehicle fit for a road license, the Motor Vehicle Examination Department or certifying officers will commence inspection of all public passenger vehicles. Yes, our locations are sufficiently staffed.
The Transport Authority is warning PPV operators and new applicants that they must meet the approved Transport Authority standards and requirements in order to receive a road license. Those standards include color coding, exterior markings, and updated motor vehicle documents accessible from the Island Traffic Authority and Tax Administration Jamaica portals. Smith says after January 19, the examination process can only be accessed online.
By online, I mean it is automated. So the vehicles will be physically required to be at the inspection site, and the examiners will be physically there, just that we're capturing the information on a system, and the image of the motor vehicles will also be captured on a system. That will make the licensing process much more seamless. So our licensing experts will commence the application for renewal of a license by tapping into the re-examination of the motor vehicle. Well, if the system crashes, which we hope it doesn't, then we'll provide enough manual system. Like I said, these are man-built system, and there is no certainty that something will not happen, but we have enough safeguard. We believe that the system is sufficiently robust, so we are doing all the testing internally just to ensure that it is strong.
Ralston Smith, the Managing Director of the Transport Authority. Meanwhile, the Transport Authority is already signaling that it will be taking a zero-tolerance approach to those found operating without the requisite credentials following the expiration of PPV licenses on March 31, 2026.
Well, we'll advise them to take heed and follow the advice and the one of the Transport Authority just to ensure that you're coming ahead of time to have your licenses renewed, avoid the rush, and avoid the penalties that are associated with the rush. And just want to indicate further that the authority has been doing this now for 38 years in terms of processing and renewing of licenses, and we have seen exponential growth in terms of the maturity of our customers.
Ralston Smith, Managing Director of the Transport Authority. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:19.
Become a member of your credit union. 70 years strong to build a reputation. Insurance, loan and investment. All your children's savings make dollars and cents. JBS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union. Your financial partner for life. 70 years you made your choice. JBS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news in the Tuna Island state of Trinidad and Tobago. Residents of Tobago are on Monday going to the polls to elect a new slate of parliamentarians for the Tobago House of Assembly. The Assembly is the legislative body responsible for the island of Tobago within the state of Trinidad and Tobago. 42 candidates from 4 political parties are vying for the 15 seats. The Tobago People's Party is seeking to retain power. Both it and the People's National Movement have each fielded a full slate of candidates. The Innovative Democratic Alliance has 11 candidates, and Unity of the People has 1. Meanwhile, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is warning against any misconduct during the taking of the polls. The warning stems from the launch of an investigation into a violent incident involving members of the island's 2 major political parties on Sunday. In international, U.S. President Donald Trump says Iran has proposed negotiations after his threat to strike the Islamic Republic amid an ongoing crackdown on demonstrators that has led to hundreds of deaths. Trump said late Sunday that his administration was in talks to set up a meeting with Tehran. He cautioned, however, that he may have to act first as reports of increasing deaths mount and the government continues to arrest protesters. Iran did not immediately acknowledge Trump's comments. It has previously warned that the U.S. military and Israel would be legitimate targets if America uses force to protect demonstrators. The U.S.-based human rights activists news agency says more than 500 people have been killed in the 2 weeks of protests. It says more than 10,000 have been detained. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Need to pass your CSEC CAPE exams to get that dream job or to qualify for university? Then Distinction College is the school for you. We have locations in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth and Ocho Rios. Start day, evening and Saturday classes this coming term and sit CSEC CAPE exams for January's resit or May-June. Maths, law, science, English. We have the lowest school fees. Register before the end of the month and win an entire term free. Call us at 354-8560.
Time now for your morning sports. Some football news. Montego Bay United beat Dumbeholden 1-0 at Jarrett Park on Sunday to increase their lead in the Ray Nephew Jamaica Premier League by 3 points. Captain Wayne Gordon scored the winner from the spot in the 78th minute to move Mobay to 32 points. Racing remains second on 29 after coming from behind to draw 1-1 with Mount Pleasant Academy at Draxall. Judy Johnson scored for Mount Pleasant in the 55th minute, but that was cancelled out by Tajay Grant in the 69th. Portmore United stay third after a goalless draw with Chapelton Maroons. Champions Cavalier and Waterhouse also ended goalless at Drusland. In the day's other game, Treasure beat Stock Malines United 2-1. The league continues on Monday with Spanish Police versus Tivoli at Dumbeholden Field at 3:30. And Arnott Gardens hosts Harbourview at the Tony Spalding Complex at 7:30 p.m. FC Barcelona are champions of the Spanish Super Cup for a second year running after beating Real Madrid 3-2 in a thrilling final in Jeddah on Sunday. Rafinha bagged a double for the Catalan club on the night, including the winner, while Robert Lewandowski got the other. Madrid's goals came from Vinicius Jr. with a brilliant solo effort and Gonzalo Garcia. Finally, in your morning sports cricket, the West Indies will have representatives among the officials at the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup, which bowls off on Thursday in Namibia and Zimbabwe. 51-year-old Dayton Butler of St. Vincent and 42-year-old Zaid Bazarath of Trinidad and Tobago are among 21 officials selected by the ICC for the tournament. Butler, who was appointed to the ICC elite panel of umpires in 2024, has officiated in 22 international matches, 14 T20s, 5 women's ODIs, 2 women's T20s, and 1 ODI. Bazarath, meanwhile, has stood in 14 T20s, 8 women's ODIs, 5 women's T20s, and 1 ODI. The West Indies have been drawn in a group with Tanzania, South Africa, and Afghanistan. They opened their campaign on Thursday against Tanzania. And that's it for your morning sports.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? GeoLand Title Limited is the place to be. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates, first-time registration, land surveys included, affordable rates and flexible payment options, National Land Agency adjudication and land titling waivers available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. GeoLand Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
In business this morning, the dollar and Wall Street futures dropped and gold jumped on Monday as Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said the Trump administration had threatened him with a criminal indictment over the refurbishment of the central bank's headquarters. This escalated worries about the Fed's independence from political influence to a new level. It also added to a frenetic start up to 2026, which has already seen the U.S. capture Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro and ramped up talk of taking control of Greenland. S&P 500 futures fell more than 0.5%, while Safe Haven Gold, which investors buy as hedge against both turmoil and inflation, hit another record high as money markets priced in a slightly higher chance of short-term U.S. interest rate cuts. Gold stands at $4,600 an ounce, also buoyed by rising geopolitical tensions around Iran, although oil prices saw little reaction. Europe opened with a modest 0.2% dip from record highs too. The Swiss franc, another classic safe haven, strengthened 0.6% to 79 cents per dollar, and the euro was 0.4% firmer at $1.16. Fed funds futures have added in about 3 basic points more in cuts this year, which is small but points to the risk that the Fed gets pushed into being more aggressive. Now, a senior Google employee has claimed that she was made redundant after reporting a manager who told clients stories about his swinger lifestyle and showed a nude of his wife. Victoria Woodall told an employment tribunal she was subjected to a campaign of retaliation by the company after whistleblowing on the man who was later sacked. The BBC is reporting that in documents it has seen in court, Google UK's internal investigation found the manager had touched 2 female colleagues without their consent, and his behavior amounted to sexual harassment. The tech giant denies retaliating against Woodall and argues that she became paranoid after whistleblowing and began to view normal business activities as sinister. In her claim, Woodall says her own boss subjected her to a relentless campaign of retaliation after her complaint also implicated his close friends, who were later disciplined for witnessing the manager's behavior and failing to challenge it. The claim also included Woodall's allegations of a boys' club culture, including that up until December 2022, Google had been funding a men's-only chairman's lunch. Google said an internal investigation found no such culture, and the event was ended as it was no longer in line with its policies. A judgment from London's Central Employment Tribunal is expected in the coming weeks. Finally, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar will open trading against the benchmark US dollar, selling for an average $158.63. Against the Canadian, the Jamaican will open selling for an average $114.34. And against the British pound, the Jamaican dollar will begin trading for an average $212.71. And that's it for business this morning.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:31.
Yo, check this out. This is Ding Dong Ravers, one of your patrons for the Sagicor Sigma Run 2026. And this year, we are bringing out the best as we run, walk, and wheel for the West.
Hi, this is Lisa Hanno, and I'm proud to be a patron for this run in aid of funds to repair and rebuild schools damaged by Hurricane Melissa.
Hey, Public Civil here. I spent my whole life trying to make records, but this record is going to be special.
We're aiming to raise a record $150 million for children in the West.
Well, everybody come jump up, lace up, wheel up. Donate some money, everybody sign up. We are run for the West.
Sign up now at SagicorSigmaRun.com.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
morning to you. Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide This Morning NTM. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us this Monday morning. It is Monday, January 12, 2026. I'm Tawna Thomas.
Good morning, Tawna. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, viewers. My name is George.
Hello to you, George.
Hello.
How are ya?
Good.
Great.
Yeah,
in the neighborhood. Hello to our friends over in the YouTube chat, joining us from radio, from website, from app this morning. Hello. Good morning. Happy to have all of you joining us for NTM.
Yes, indeed. Not a bad weekend.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah. I went to church yesterday.
That's good.
Yeah.
How was the service?
Really good.
Sweet.
Good message.
Yeah.
I like a church that has good message. Nobody's shouting at me, and it's not very long. So this church service lasts about 2.5 hours or maybe less.
Where was that?
It's on Hagley Park Road. I think it's called LFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pigley Park Road, as the lady said.
Yeah.
All right.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, listeners. Good morning, viewers, wherever you are. Good morning to our friends listening to us locally, joining us locally on YouTube. And good morning to our friends in the diaspora listening to us and watching us from near and far. Really appreciate your company. The challenge that you pose by virtue of your engaged listenership. And we really appreciate it. Yes.
And just before you go to WAM, hello, good morning to you, Miss Norma. If you are listening in this morning, a big fan of NNN, met her on the weekend as well while I was doing some shopping, and we had a bit of a chat, and she told me a lot about different hosts here at Nationwide, so you can see that she's a big fan because she was able to point to particular things. So Miss Norma, you're listening in this morning. Good morning to you, and hello to you as well, Rick. Special good morning to you. Hope you're having a good day.
So Miss Norma, chat the people in with you?
Oh, for sure.
What
But
a
good
thing.
things. Good things.
What a thing. Good morning, Miss Norma.
Yeah.
Right. This morning, listeners, we need to contemplate something that, you know, is not one of those topics that that will set a conversation going. Unfortunately not. You wish that everything that you discuss here is a conversation starter, but this won't start any conversations. That is a minor tragedy on its own. But it is very important. And even though people will acknowledge its importance, they'll move on and start talking about the usual thing, Andrew and Mark and PNP and Labour, right, and this, that, and yeah, whatever. Yeah, but our duty is to spotlight the things which are important and the things which are hobbling us, the things which are problems that we can avoid, but which persist and cause to be hamstrung the movement to prosperity. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the ridiculously high number of road fatalities.
Yep.
And it's so funny, before what happened on the weekend happened, I had in my mind to talk about this issue on This Day in Sports, Monday, January 12, 2026. Because when I look at the numbers, I was reading a document prepared for the Island Traffic Authority not so long ago, which showed that between 2014 and 2023, 4,325 males alone were killed on Jamaica's roads in crashes. Let me repeat the number. 4,325 between 2014 and 2025. That's a ridiculously high number of males alone. When you look at 2021, which was a 20-year high for road fatalities, I think that year finished with 487. Let me repeat the number. 487 people just a drive, go about them business or a walk or use the roads, boom, dead. And of that number, that 487 in 2021, 432 were males. So you're talking about the productive capacity And the basic unit of production is the human being in many respects. That vanishing, going away, gone forever because of a road crash. And when you drill into the numbers and you look at, say, okay, for that 4,325 males alone, because they make up the disproportionate number of people who die on the roads since 2014 and between 2014 and 2025. How many of them were in or approaching their productive prime? So you'd say, all right, then how many were below the age of 19? Of that 4,325, about 380 were 19 and younger. Yes? So almost 4,000 were 19 years old and older. Mm-hmm. These are the people who are in employment. These are the people who would have either completed a course of study, whether it's skills training, ready for the next level of their development. These are youngsters whose parents would have invested in them for 19 years, schooling them and say, okay, you're ready to go on your own. And you know how things are in Jamaica. There are so many generations where the parents do for the children what they didn't get. Mm-hmm. So you invest in the education of your son especially. Well, not son especially, but because the numbers are so heavily weighted in favor of men. You invest in your son. That's the point I'm making. You invest in your son because you never had that investment. And you hope that the sacrifices you would have made, by the time the loop catches him and he's now working, he can help you to balance your own life as you now focus on you and or his younger siblings. Mm-hmm. That possibility is removed because they die on the roads. Then the other thing to contemplate is this. Forget the number of people who die on the roads in Jamaica annually. The statistics show that 10,000 annually suffer serious injuries. Foot broke, hand broke. Foot chop off, hand chop off. Head get chopped, can't work again. Face mash up, hand knock up. Mm-hmm. Just go through it. Motorcyclists, of course, nobody needs to tell you that they head the list. But with 10,000 injured annually, several hundred dying annually, what the hell are we doing? Is the question on the roads. There are many people who believe if me drink a spliff, if me burn a spliff and drink a juice, I'm gonna drive a car. Me alright, because driving under the influence only affects the operation of a motor car. So me can burn a spliff, drink a juice, and ride my bike, as they say, ride my bike. You know, in the proper ways, it's driving your motorcycle, but they ride my bike. Me do that and ride my bike, me alright, because on the car me I drive. And under the influence, you crash and die. Or you hit somebody and you kill them. And a lot of it is with the state of the road infrastructure, lighting in many areas, whole heap of regulatory things that can be done. But at the base of it is human responsibility. Why does anybody have to tell you as a living, breathing, thinking adult that you must wear a helmet when you ride a motorcycle? Big man like you. Why should somebody have to tell you, wear a helmet? So you jump on your bike, merino, shorts, slippers. Merino, shorts, barefoot. Merino, underpants, barefoot. Spliff tail in a mouth. A fly down the road.
A special in hand.
A special in a one hand them. And you had answer your bird same time because your bird ring. So you go on your bird. You charge it. Boom, crash dead. And you kill a productive member of society. You removed from your household. Your baby mother suffer. Your picnic them suffer. The person who you kill, their family affected. And it is a fact the country does not take road crashes seriously. And even in the face of the numbers, go through one years, come through the other years. Because John Tam crashed, but a coach him couldn't ride. Him crash for him skate, but them boy they are idiot, because you don't know some man are different. Him now crash like him. And even though I have seen several people crash and their head bust up off of their motorcycle, it's not going to happen to me because me different. How are you different? You hear the National Road Safety Council through its Vice Chairman, Dr. Lucian Jones, agitating and saying, boy, we must fully implement all provisions and aspects of the road safety, of the Road Traffic Act. Why should an advocate be telling the authorities that all aspects of the law which spent so long in gestation, that all aspects must be enforced? Why does that need to happen? Why are so many people who on the regulatory legislative side, the enforcement side, falling down on the job? And you in your homes, you in your communities, you who have the baby father who no ride with helmet, you, the dog, who no use helmet, you know, to use helmet, you don't wear shoes when you ride. What next needs to happen for you to start taking these things seriously? And what about the cost? Healthcare, medicine. You see you're struggling and yet you have a man at home, lay down, foot in a cast, needing much medication at daytime. You can't take medication on hungry belly. So your life is even harder because you don't have to be minding a man who lay down on him back all day and can't lift straw. We are killing ourselves and we don't even realize. And I don't know what it will take to move the needle, but I'm just making another appeal this morning. Talk to somebody you know about driving properly. Whether it's behind the wheel of a car or a motorcycle. Whether it's using the road, on the phone while you drive, texting or send WhatsApp while you are driving, or send voice note while you drive, or watch YouTube while you drive. All of these things. So now, we cut down on the gun murders and the murders in total. And we are still killing ourselves and other people on the roads. It's like we're born for kill in this country. We're born for kill ourselves or we're born for kill each other. We have to find a way for just kill. It has to be better. Lucian Jones should never again come on any public platform and demand and call for the aspects and the provisions of the Road Traffic Act to be fully enforced. The prioritization of the quality of the road surfaces people use. The research shows that the wider the road, the smoother, the longer, the more dangerous it is. Spanish Town Road, Washington Boulevard, Mandela Highway, oh gosh. If you look at the number of fatal crashes on those three roads in the corporate area alone every year, your head spin because you wouldn't realize there are so many. We have to do better.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6:49.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
We need a bigger office where we can see more clients.
Sounds like ambition is calling and Access Financial Services is answering. The funds are waiting.
Boss, I know. We need another truck.
Sounds like you have a plan and Access Financial Services can help. Horizon, a new loan product from Access Financial Services designed for women entrepreneurs to unlock the capital you need to grow and take your business beyond limits. With quick approval, flexible repayment, and low interest rates, your success is on the horizon.
Time now for Street Smarts 1 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, George. Morning, Tona.
Morning to you, Ludlow.
And hey to our listeners and traveling passengers and or drivers, all the transport operators. Just to tell you quickly what's happening along the Mandela. By the way, as you're coming from the Old Harbour section, Old Harbour Road to the roundabout, Osemate, the flow is steady. It's steady along the Mandela Highway, but it builds as you get closer towards 6 miles. As a matter of fact, as they get off the North-South Highway, Edward Seaver Highway, it's building in that direction. And then when it goes further towards the Ferry Police Station, there's some gaps there. But just remember, it's going to be busy along Spanish Town Road as you make your way, and the same thing along Boulevard. But gaps are along Washington Boulevard as they make your way. And going towards Dunrobin, that's where you're going to have a little build-up of traffic to get onto Constance Spring Road. But Constance Spring Road further up, Manor Park coming down, the traffic is flowing steadily all the way down, and then it peaks really as it makes it into half a tree. All right, so for the time being, that's what's happening. But George, you could not put it better. Boy, I tell you, it's not only motorbikes doing on. The courier vehicles, some of the taxi operators, and there are some horns that sound like the truck horns in some of these cars.
Yes.
You know, it's very scary sometimes, but the level of driving is really, really out of this world. Even SUVs,
yes.
I think they would have a little more, push the way they drive and so on and so forth. But they are no different from the rest of the drivers, all right?
Yes, sir.
So it's a lot on the plate.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah,
so it's over to you.
Thank you. Ludlow there with Street Smarts. One up next, word of the day.
Word of the day spelled E-X-T-E-M-P-O-R-E, spelled E-X-T-E-M-P-O-R-E.
Extempore. Extempore. Extempore.
Extempore is your word of the day, meaning on the spur of the moment, extempore, and it describes actions done on the spur of the moment without rehearsal or planning. Perhaps like ideas or speeches or performances can spring to life without warning. That's extempore. To use it in a sentence, the speaker delivered a truly impressive extempore address without any preparation. E-X-T-E-M-P-O-R-E. That is your word of the day. Up next, your features at the top of the hour at the news.
Today on Living Well, the dangers of laxatives. I am sure that many of us as children can remember when you were told that you needed a washout. This would then be followed many times by the use of a laxative such as Citroma, X-Lax, milk of magnesia, or some other such laxative. Yes, there were those mothers that would use herbs such as Cersei. However, for the most part, it was a laxative. For those of you out there that is still using this practice, it's a very bad idea. This is not the intended use. Today, the words used more often to clean out the body is a purge or cleansing. It should not be done by the use of a laxative. What is a laxative? Laxatives are drugs that relieve constipation by loosening stools or inducing a bowel movement. Laxatives are intended for short-term use. The rule of laxatives is that you usually don't need them, even if you are constipated. Let's look at the different laxatives and understand just what they are and how they work. Bulk forming laxatives. These laxatives work by drawing water into your stools to make them larger, softer, and easier to pass. They work slowly and stimulate your colon naturally. They are considered the safest type of laxative and the only type that might be recommended for daily use. Examples are psyllium, metamucil, polycarbophil, fibercon, and methicellulose, Citracel. It is important to drink plenty of fluids with a bulk laxative. Saline laxatives. These laxatives are called osmotic laxatives because they draw extra fluid into the large intestine to help soften stool and flush out your colon. Because the active ingredients in these laxatives are commonly magnesium or phosphate, they can be dangerous for people with kidney failure. A common example of this type of laxative is milk of magnesia, which is magnesium. Stimulant laxatives. These are the roughest type of laxatives because they cause your bowel to contract and squeeze out the stool. Stimulant laxatives can be taken by mouth or by suppository. When taken by mouth, they work in about 7 hours. By suppository, they can work in about 30 minutes. These laxatives should never be used more than once every 3 days because they can cause your bowel to lose its ability to contract. A common example of a stimulant laxative is Bisocodil, Dulcolax, and Correctol. Here are the dangers of using laxatives. Internal organ damage may result, including stretched or lazy colon, colon infection, irritable bowel syndrome, and rarely liver damage. Severe dehydration. This can cause tremors, weakness, blurry vision, fainting, kidney damage, and in extreme cases, death. Dehydration often requires medical treatment. Disturbance of electrolyte and mineral balances. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, and phosphorus are electrolytes and minerals that are present in very specific amounts necessary for proper functioning of the nerves and muscles, including those of the colon and heart. Upsetting this delicate balance can cause improper functioning of these vital organs. If you feel that you or your child need to cleanse yourself, try changing your diet to a more natural one. Drink more water and seek safe herbal methods. A laxative is not the way to go. That's Living Well for today. Tune in next time for Toenail Fungus.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
This is Lifestyle Pages on what to do during a meeting. Greet members and make them feel welcome, even late members, when appropriate. If possible, serve light refreshments. They are good icebreakers and make members feel special and comfortable. 3, begin on time, end on time. 4, review or go over the agenda and set priorities or decide what are the important things to be dealt with first or early in the meeting. 5, stick to the agenda. 6, encourage group discussions to get everyone's views, opinions, and ideas. This way, people will attend the meeting as they feel that their views and ideas matter and are worthwhile. 7, encourage feedback, commitment to the company or workplace, and improvement when members see their impact on the decision-making process. 8, keep conversations focused on the topic or item on the agenda. 9, keep minutes of the meeting for future reference in case a question or problem arises. 10, as the chairman or leader, be a role model by being a good listener. One who shows interest, appreciation, and confidence in members and admits to mistakes. 11, summarize all decisions reached in the meeting. Have members volunteer their thoughts on aspects they feel were good and positive about the meeting and whether the company's mission statement was reflected in all decisions made. 12, set a date, time, and place for the next meeting. I'm Valerie, and those were Lifestyle Pages.
News on the go. The latest stories from Jamaica and around the world are literally a finger tap away. Keep up to date with Teen Revolution 24 hours a day online via nationwideradiojm.com. Listen live, read the latest stories, hear every soundbite. Be a part of the vibrant online debate via Facebook and Twitter. Now you can get all your favorite premium nationwide content at your convenience. Visit the Android Play Store and download it for free today. NationwideRadioJM.com. All day, every day. Team Revolution.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
From the ground up, let's rebuild stronger, safer, better than before. National Supply, powering Jamaica's comeback. The temperature by National Supply is...
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 today, Monday, January 12, 2026, murder trial of former MP Jolian Silvera set to begin today. Police inspector slapped with cocaine-related charges. Opposition accuses Holiness Administration of deliberately delaying procurement of body-worn cameras. And in international news, the U.S. says it's setting up a meeting with Tehran amid ongoing protests.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The trial of former MP for Western St. Mary, Jolian Silvera, is set to get underway in the Home Circuit Court today, Monday. Silvera is charged with the murder of his wife, Melissa Silvera. He's also charged with using a firearm to commit a felony. Melissa Silvera was found dead at the couple's home in Stony Hill, St. Andrew, on November 10, 2023. Initial reports were that the 42-year-old died in her sleep from natural causes, but an autopsy later revealed that she died from gunshot wounds. Jolian Silvera was arrested and charged in January 2024. He has been behind bars ever since. Silvera served one term as a parliamentarian after winning Western St. Mary for the PNP in the 2011 general election. He's being represented by King's Counsel Peter Champagne and Attorney at Law Patrice Riley. The Inspector of Police arrested for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act in St. Andrew last Thursday has been charged. He's 51-year-old Martin Walker of Greater Portmore, St. Catherine. Inspector Walker has been charged with possession of, dealing in, and trafficking cocaine. Our news center understands the charges were laid on Saturday following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney, Christopher Townsend. Inspector Walker is assigned administrative duties at the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. A member of the Jamaica Defense Force and a mechanic were also arrested along with the inspector on Thursday. Reports are detectives from the Firearms and the Narcotics Investigation Division swooped down on a bar in Woodford Park, Kingston 4. Following a search of Inspector Walker's vehicle, 12.5 pounds of cocaine were found. The inspector initially declined to have the vehicle searched, but our sources say he eventually admitted to a senior FNID officer that the illegal drugs were in the vehicle. It's understood the quantity of drugs has an estimated street value of up to 100 million Jamaican dollars. The policeman's service pistol, along with 53 rounds of ammunition, his force ID and a mobile phone were also taken from the vehicle. His first court appearance is being finalized. The opposition People's National Party is accusing the Holiness Administration of deliberately dragging its feet on the procurement of body-worn cameras for the security forces. Opposition spokesman on national security Fitz Jackson says the repeated citing of procurement delays smacks of a lack of urgency on the part of the government.
The issue of the body camera, it has become almost regrettably a kind of political issue because one side or one set of persons are pushing for it and the government is pushing back. What we're talking about is something to be designed in a lab. These are technologies that have been around and are around right across the world. All the elements required is a matter of procurement. Depends on the priority that is placed on it. In government, we have processes for emergency and urgent procurement. We do have that provision. So we can buy things within days and within weeks once it's available and can be sourced.
The matter of body-worn cameras has been a recurring issue in recent time, amid concerns about the increase in police fatal shootings. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, says 311 police fatal shootings were recorded in 2025. This compares to 189 in 2024. A further 17 were recorded up to January 11 this year. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake told Nationwide News in September 2025 that following what he described as a tedious procurement process, a contract had been executed for 1,000 body-worn cameras. But Fitz-Jackson says he's tired of hearing that body-worn cameras are coming.
The appropriate specification for the equipment to be had, they are attainable. And even if you were to order them, they would have been manufactured long ago.
So your argument then is that there's not sufficient urgency. That's your conclusion?
Exactly. Because if there was urgency to it could have been long attained. You know, one of my colleagues on the other side in government said some years ago, he's not going to applaud announcement, he's going to applaud delivery. Because we have a tendency in Jamaica that once we give something that sounds plausible, we beat our chest and say we give a good explanation, but we have not solved the problem. We have had enough of that because we've been walking this road for a very long time.
Meanwhile, Fitz-Jackson says while the 41% reduction in homicides in 2025 is welcome, he now wants to see a comprehensive strategy aimed at ensuring citizens feel safe.
Murder reduction ought to have been and is the welcome goal. So let us be clear on that. The point I was making, while we seek to and we achieve murder reduction, we have to also at the same time seek to ensure that the absence of murder creates a peacefulness and a sense of safety prevail in the communities so that you and that and everyday Jamaican can feel comfortably safe to go about enjoying their lives. Walk the streets late at night, go anywhere they want without the fear of being murdered or any violence.
The country recorded a 31-year low of 673 murders in 2025. The data also showed that robberies increased by 8%, while break-ins rose by 17%. Jackson says stronger community policing is essential to reducing these other crimes.
Domestic violence is a major part of it. The reduction must be pursued simultaneously with a strategy that brings the community with the security forces. Nobody will honestly say that community policing is at the forefront of efforts on the ground. Certainly not in my constituency, I can tell you that, and many others. You want to make it more comprehensive, and most importantly, you want to make sure that it is as sustainable as is possible.
Fitz-Jackson, opposition spokesman on national security and a member of parliament for South St. Catherine. President of the Jamaica Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, JAPS, Linvern Wright, believes the competence of students would be compromised because of the options that may be selected by schools under the modified approach being used by the Caribbean Examinations Council CXC for the exams set for May and June this year. Under the modified approach, schools will have the option to use only Paper 1, which is a multiple choice exam, and the school-based assessments SBA.
Just imagine a student doing only a multiple choice paper, with SBA being 20% of the marks, but a little limited in terms of its range, in terms of the things that it has tested. There are many students who might not have to write a process or do any kind of explanation when it is they just have a multiple choice paper, because the multiple choice paper does not give them the option to demonstrate that competence that they may have learned over the years. And it might not put passing at a disadvantage. What it will put down the road at a disadvantage is maybe the competence of someone who has to work for you, who cannot write well, who comes into the media, who cannot write a proper report because the examination didn't test that particular skill that you want. It is meant to do those things.
Under normal circumstances, the format would see students doing Paper 1, Paper 2, and the SBA. Wright says because multiple choice questions are often repeated, some students find it easy to identify correct answers.
One of the things that you will notice with the CXC paper is that many of the questions tend to be recurring. I think there may be good work now on the, ensuring that we get more, because to make, and we just have to be careful because making multiple choice items are very difficult. They're easy to mark, but it's very difficult to construct them because it takes a whole lot and there's little you can do and add so much and no more. That they are even out there is not CXC's fault. The point I'm making is that in many instances your paper 2 actually balances out that possibility.
In other words, because there have been so many past papers with multiple choice questions before, and the multiple choice questions are recurring, persons might just look at the past papers and
people just swap them and just look at them. Right.
Meanwhile, Linvern Wright is concerned about the number of past multiple-choice CXC papers that he says are being circulated in the public domain.
The fact is that many multiple choice papers for CXC are out there on the street at dime a dozen. If it is that we are going to look at these as the only options that we want to have our children be tested on, then we have got to look at that.
What do you mean they are out there?
Well, one of the things that CXC does is that CXC asks that these papers are not given to students or given to anyone after the exam. The fact is that many of them have been out there for years now. And it's public knowledge, right? Like many people know, or people would say it's an open secret. And it might be something that there are many people who might think, we ought not to talk about. But I think that those are things we have to know. Because doing well on an exam cannot be the only basis on which we decide that someone is successful. The integrity has to be clear.
Linvern Wright, president of JAPS. Meanwhile, principal of St. Elizabeth Technical High School, STETS, Keith Wellington, believes students should write both papers 1 and 2 in this year's CXC exams.
The issue of the students being allowed to do one paper rather than 2, I'm not so sure if that is something that we are in favor of. In the matter of our personal point of view, I think the students should do both papers.
STETS was one of the schools devastated by Hurricane Melissa. The other parishes in which schools will benefit from CXC's modified approach for the May-June 2026 exams are Westmoreland, Manchester, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, and St. Anne. Wellington is, however, applauding the move by CXC to extend the time for the submission of school-based assessments.
The delay or the extension of the time for the submission of SBAs will be useful to our students because they have more time now to properly prepare their SBAs.
Keith Wellington, principal of STETS. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, is warning that 2026 could see a surge in road crashes unless key aspects of the Road Traffic Act are fully enforced. He made the declaration as he bemoaned the number of fatal crashes already recorded since the start of the year.
2026 is going to be filled with more disasters unless we can move quickly to get the demerit point system and other aspects of the Road Traffic Act in place to ensure that we have safe speeds. We have to move quickly to have safe roads. We have to make sure that our people buckle up in front and the back in their cars and wear their helmets. And we have to make sure that we have safe vehicles in this country. Our children's lives are at stake, the lives of the adults are at stake, and the country continues to suffer immeasurably because of the number of road fatalities. We have to do better than this. We can.
According to the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, 11 people died in road crashes up to January 11. The latest incident claimed the lives of 4 people, including 3 children in St. Elizabeth on Saturday. The deceased are aged 30, 17, 12, and 10. Reports are about 5:30 p.m. The 4 were traveling in a Toyota Voxy when the driver collided with a Freightliner truck. The 4 were pronounced dead at hospital. PSTEB listed excessive speeding, negligence, and failure to keep in the proper lane as the possible causes of the collision. Dr. Jones says more people have already died on the roads than at this time in 2025.
11 persons have died for the year so far, exceeding the number year to date for last year, which was 10. So in one single crash, we have visited on this country a terrible tragedy. If 4 people died in one crash, we have to wonder whether or not they were unsafe road users. So all these questions carry us back to the safe systems approach, the all-embracing, comprehensive system that we must employ and not just focus on one aspect of it, but all 4, in addition to the moving people quickly from a crash to a hospital.
Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. Managing Director of the Transport Authority, Ralston Smith, says all is in place for the examination of public passenger vehicles PPV today, Monday, in preparation for the renewal of road licenses set to expire on March 31.
So what we start tomorrow is really the inspection process. So as part of the preparation for our licensing activities, we are encouraging all our PPV operators to come in and have their vehicles examined, inspected by our certifying officers to determine fitness for use as a public passenger vehicle. So in order to ensure that the safety standards are maintained and the aesthetics that are required for passing the vehicle fit for a road license, the Motor Vehicle Examination Department or certifying officers will commence inspection of all public passenger vehicles. Yes, our locations are sufficiently staffed.
The Transport Authority is warning PPV operators and new applicants that they must meet the approved Transport Authority standards and requirements in order to receive a road license. These standards include color coding, exterior markings, and updated motor vehicle documents accessible from the Island Traffic Authority and the Tax Administration Jamaica portals. Smith says after January 19, the examination process can only be accessed online.
By online, I mean it is automated, so the vehicles will be physically required to be at the inspection site, and the examiners will be physically there, just that we're capturing the information on a system, and the image of the motor vehicles will also be captured on a system. That will make the licensing process much more seamless. So our licensing experts will commence the application for renewal of a license by tapping into the re-examination of the motor vehicle. Well, if the system crashes, which we hope it doesn't, then we'll provide to the manual system. Like I said, these are man-built system, and there is no certainty that something will not happen, but we have enough safeguard. We believe that the system is sufficiently robust, so we are doing all the testing internally just to ensure that it is strong.
That's Ralston Smith, Managing Director of the Transport Authority. Former Jamaican ambassador and international consultant Curtis A. Ward has died. Ambassador Ward passed away Sunday night at his home in Maryland in the United States. He was ambassador and the deputy permanent representative of Jamaica to the United Nations with special responsibility for Security Council affairs. He served on the UN Security Council from 2000 to 2001. Ambassador Ward, an attorney at law by training, had extensive knowledge and experience in national and international legal and policy frameworks. He was born in Treasure Beach, St. Elizabeth, and attended Manchester High before going to the United States on a university scholarship. International news now. Iran says it is keeping communications open with the U.S. as President Donald Trump weighed responses to a violent crackdown on protests that have posed one of the biggest challenges to clerical rule since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The Foreign Ministry says contacts also remain open through traditional intermediary Switzerland. Trump said on Sunday that his administration was in talks to set up a meeting with Tehran. He cautioned, however, that he may have to act first as reports of increasing deaths mount and the government continues to arrest protesters. Iran previously warned that the U.S. military and Israel would be legitimate targets if the Americans use force to protect demonstrators. U.S.-based human rights activist News Agency says more than 500 people have been killed in the 2 weeks of protests. It says more than 10,000 have been detained. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:17.
Commercial spaces for you. Parks and attractions for you. Housing and residential developments for you. Beautiful rental properties for you. Improving quality of life through infrastructure development across Jamaica for you. The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation.
UDC for you.
Time of a Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
George, morning to our listeners, motoring public, all our stakeholders, and believe me, our visitors. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Those who are here and those who are departed. And I would say it's not bright, and it's bright but not sunny yet. But the roadways, things change in a few minutes or a few seconds. All of Washington Boulevard down, all of Mullines coming from the foot of the hill, Reddy's Road coming down. Especially be careful as they go through past St. Richard's Primary. A lot of vehicles are there letting off students and all of that. And if you're going further down, it's a steady flow all the way across to Eastwood Park Road and then on to Constance Spring, which has a lot of traffic. Constance Spring southbound heading into Happy Tree coming down Mullines. If you're heading towards South Oden Avenue, it's going to be traffic from Mullines getting onto Constance Spring Road and then going across to Southern Road, which takes you onto Parish Place, then onto Hope Road. Hope Road into Half a Tree, quite active also. Remember that Half a Tree area carries a lot of traffic from Constantine Road, Mullines Road, Eastwood Park Road, and then from the Hope Road section. So that area is busy. It's steady though, going down Half a Tree Road. Places like Cecilia Avenue, there's another drop off there at the high school, and also the Holy Child area there. But going further down towards Oxford Road, you're going to find it moving though. It's moving in both directions. But coming up Half a Tree Road, make it onto Oxford Road, there is a bit of traffic there. And going further down into the Crossroads area, there's also traffic. Traffic coming out of Retirement Road onto Half a Tree Road, and traffic going further down. I can tell you, later on as the morning progresses, there will be traffic going further down towards Hero Circle, and by extension, Sliping Road, going down towards Orange Street area. Those are the areas that's going to have a lot of traffic. So, and also North Street, especially in the vicinity of the two schools, St. George's High School and Kingston College High School, all the way out. So there you go, our second report. And remember, there are other areas that has traffic, but remember, it's a peak hour, rush hour. All right? I just want to say congrats to Mr. Hughes and all the Excelsiorians for a great job they did. The Manning Cup, and we shall the other one again.
Olivier Shield.
Olivier Shield. All right? So congrats, sir. And to all the schoolers and all the alumni and all of them. So it's over to you, George.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow there with Street Smarts 2. Up next, front page. Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned into our discussion segment, The Front Page. On the front page this morning, we focus on the impact of road fatalities on our health systems and the country's GDP. Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, has warned that 2026 could see a surge in road crashes unless key aspects of the Road Traffic Act are fully enforced. He made the declaration as he bemoaned the number of fatal crashes already recorded since the start of the year. Data shared by the Island Traffic Authority shows that 374 people died in 325 fatal crashes last year. According to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, 11 people died in road crashes up to January 11 this year. Data from the Island Traffic Authority shows that between 2014 to 2025, 4,325 men were killed in road crashes. On the front page this morning, as I indicated, we'll discuss the economic impact of road fatalities on the health sector and the GDP. We're being joined by economist Keenan Faulkner, an orthopedic surgeon at the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, Dr. Kerry Fletcher. And Dr. Fletcher conducted a study on the impact of motorcycle crashes before, and he also gave recommendations to the National Road Safety Council. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning to you and our listeners.
Good morning, Tony. Good morning to you listeners.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. If we could begin with you, Keenan, if you could paint a picture from the economic viewpoint about the impact of road crashes on the economy and productivity.
So, in the Jamaican context, there has actually been a study on this before. It's called the Cost of Care. It was done by the Violence Prevention Alliance. It was commissioned by JN and the National Health Fund. And it found at the time when the study was conducted, it was published in 2017, but it covered the period up to 2014. And back then it found that the direct cost of road traffic crashes was 1.4 billion and the indirect cost was 1.8 billion. And that would have translated at the time to around 0.02% of GDP. So that, persons might look at that number and say it is negligible in the context of GDP, but given that we have an annual growth rate of around 1 to 2%, it is somewhat significant. And it is, however, well below the global average. For countries across the globe, the estimated GDP impact is around 3%, and for low and middle income developing countries, it's 5%. So the link empirically has not been so well established in terms of precise GDP impact, but just using the data they have available to us, we see that road crashes have a material impact on GDP. And it comes through several channels, of course, not least of which is the strain that will be experienced on the health sector budget. But you're also thinking about lost productivity, you're thinking about property and infrastructure damage, the social costs of long-term care, you're thinking about reduced output, and just the fact that injuries and fatalities rob the labor force of, skilled workers. So, in addition to that, you're thinking about the recovery time of survivors, which could take a long time. You're also thinking about the cost of just emergency and legal services and reduced quality of life. So there are several channels by which the economic impact of road crashes can manifest itself.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that the per capita impact is below world average, Keenan, because when you look at where we are in Latin America and the Caribbean in terms of road fatalities, especially where motorcyclists are concerned, Barbados, I think, are ahead of us, and a couple other Latin American countries, we're about fourth on the list for motorcyclist deaths. The number of people dying here versus the number of people dying there, similar, and people need similar treatment, medicines are the same, hospital stays are the same. So why is it that the calculation shows that the numbers you just give are so far below global standards? Does it have to do something perhaps with the instrument used to measure?
Well, we also have to consider that those studies were undertaken more than a decade ago. So it's likely that those numbers... You
mean the one that you referenced, the 2014-2017 one?
Right.
Yes.
So it's likely that those numbers could have risen in the interim. And it's not exactly per capita, but just the overall impact on GDP. When you back out the numbers and you get what your final result will be, you realize that the cost is in billions. So billions by itself is significant as a proportion of the health sector. But for the entire GDP of the country, which is 2.2 trillion,
yes,
then you realize that it's much less than that. But billions by itself is insignificant as a proportion of the budget of the health sector.
May I request to interject, please?
Yes, Dr. Fletcher.
Good morning. That was an excellent overview by Mr. Faulkner. But being in the medical field, I have a little insight as to why it is those figures may not necessarily truly reflect what is actually happening.
And before we go further, Dr. Fletcher, just to caveat it, Keenan did say the study he was referencing was published in 2017 and the publication was based on numbers up to 2014. So we're talking 12 years ago for broader context. Go ahead.
Yes. But what has happened is that published the cost of care study that was in 2017. They mainly looked at costs that occurred in real time in terms of when the patient just arrived at the hospital. So they would have looked at, for example, blood tests, x-rays, the materials that were used during their time in the emergency room. But it was retrospectively done.
Yes.
So meaning that they had to go into the records to work out things. And so whatever was not documented, for whatever reason,
was not captured.
Would not be captured. As well as there are certain costs. So, for example, when a patient goes to the operating theater, that docket is not going to capture the cost of operating theater time. It's not going to capture the cost of the drugs. It's not going to capture numerous things. It's not going to capture the long-term cost in terms of rehabilitation. It's not going to capture blood bank costs necessarily. Because it may, for example, speak to how much blood was used, but it may not speak to certain specifics in terms of the resources used. So, in other words, it's an underestimation of the real cost.
Yeah, the numbers read like that to me when I looked at the regional situation, Dr. Fletcher, even though the data is old.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the other cost concerning the progressive number of days or amount of time that quote unquote, well not quote unquote, that patient is out of work. If you're on your back for 3 months, for 6 months, not working, you still need medication, you still need food. That's a cost, and that's also, especially for someone who was in productive undertaking before, who was working, who's now stretched out 6 months, and then after the 6 months, they have to rehab before they can get back to what they're doing. Those are all costs that would not necessarily have been reflected in the studies, what you're saying.
Right, and when I spoke to rehabilitation costs, you expanded basically on what I was saying.
Gentlemen, hold the line. We're going to take a quick break and come right back, having this very important discussion on the cost to the health sector and to the overall productivity and output. Keenan Faulkner spoke about it. Dr. Fletcher is giving us the insight as a medical doctor, what it's costing us as we maim and kill ourselves on the streets.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, what we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good.
Jamaica, stop the killing and give up the guns. Just live good now.
The time brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace is
7:32.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is
24 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, having a conversation with economist Keenan Faulkner and orthopedic surgeon at the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital, Dr. Kerry Fletcher, about the economic impact of road fatalities on the health sector and the country's GDP. And there are comments coming into our YouTube chat about cost and persons who've been in crashes. Vivian writes here, "Good morning, Tana, George, and YouTubers. I am recuperating from a car accident in St. Mary last August. I broke my hand and my left foot and shattered my knee. because someone cut Vivian off and was speeding. And we here, George, we don't know if Vivian is somebody who is self-employed.
Yeah.
So you're thinking about if she was an entrepreneur and she now has to be sitting one place, perhaps not able to carry out her job as productive as she would like to, that cost there. If she is the main breadwinner in her household, there's also that cost, or does that factor in? So speaking of the conversation about cost, there are a lot of things to take into consideration when we think about crashes, road crashes, whether they are fatal or persons have suffered severe injuries. Yeah.
Morning again, Dr. Kerry Fletcher, orthopedic surgeon at St. Ansbury Regional Hospital, and economist Keenan Fortner. Morning, gentlemen, again.
Morning, sir.
Yeah. All right. Coming back to you, Dr. Fletcher. But Keenan, so now that we have put some of the things on the table in terms of what a road crash costs, and of course the gaps in the studies that have already been done, communicating to us what the dollar figure is. What would you suggest needs to happen now to accurately roll all of this into the kind of numbers that will now guide policy based on what happens elsewhere and how we are not doing it? How do our policymakers now make that step?
Well, I think it starts with, just updating what has been done before. So a reprisal of that kind of study to give you what the precise numbers will be in today's context, which is likely to, I think, better approximate the global and regional average, given, what we just see on the roads daily. And it will confirm most persons' anecdotal suspicions about what exactly happens on the road. It's not something to underestimate, whether you have formal numbers or not. Even one deadly fatality, one deadly crash is too much, too many. So for policymakers, there are many ways that they can tackle this problem. And I think first and foremost, of course, we speak about education. Education is just one of the things that the government can continue to pursue more aggressively, but also just upgrading physical infrastructure. It's not just about lack of driver education, why crashes happen the way they do. You just look at some of the state of some of the roads and other supporting infrastructure that is just not conducive to proper driving on the road. Yeah. There are other means and ways that the government can go about improving the situation.
Yeah. Dr. Fletcher, a person on average who experiences a motor vehicle crash, a serious motor vehicle crash, are they ever the same after that? Are they ever the same individual with the same productive capacity, the same ability even? Dr. Fletcher? Okay, I think we lost that call. We have to wait for that connection to be reestablished. Orthopedic surgeon at St. Ansbury Regional Hospital, Dr. Kerry Fletcher, he conducted a study on the impact of motorcycle crashes, which we'll ask him about as well. Our producer trying to get him back. He has also, Dr. Fletcher, been one to give recommendations to the National Road Safety Council about what the situation is, the cost of motorcycle crashes, what it is that can be done where driver education is concerned, and just the use of the roads. We have with us as well economist Keenan Fortner, and we're talking after a year in which more than one person, average of more than one a day, died in 2025, and the projections show that 2026 should be worse than 2025, coming from an extraordinary year, 2021, where 487 people died on the roads. We have Dr. Fletcher back. You got the question before we lost it, Dr. Fletcher?
Can you just repeat the question?
I wanted to ask if a person at random rather, who is the victim, is a victim in a serious motor vehicle crash, and gets injured. Is that person ever the same in terms of their productive capacity, their ability, and being able to contribute what they did before the accident?
Well, once you use the word serious, then the answer is automatically no. Because serious in terms of a medical report, for example, suggests that the person has significant impairment. So the only way they would be as productive is if this impairment does not impact their functional demands on the job. So To give a simple example, if they are a telephone operator and the only thing they're doing is sitting down and answering the phone, and their impairment is in the ankle, well, then maybe that won't impact on their productivity to a significant extent. But in the majority of cases, it does. Just based on the functional impairment that you have afterwards, you're never quite the same.
Yeah. And we spoke about the deaths earlier, but we also said that on average there are about 10,000 injuries per annum from motor vehicle crashes. What's the impact of persons injured but able to walk away from a crash?
Well, there's a psychological impact and there's a physical impact. There's short term and there's long term. And that's an extensive discussion that I believe is beyond the scope of what we're talking about today in terms of cost.
All right, we're not putting it into this one. Your study on motorcycle crashes, what are the key findings that you then made recommendations from to the NRSC?
All right, so just a couple definitions here. We're defining lower limb from the hip to the toe and the upper limb from the shoulder to the finger, right? 55% of the injuries were in the lower limbs, 35% were in the upper limbs. We had 31% of the injuries being head injuries, and 5% being pelvis, and 5% being in the spine. So one of the recommendations was that the majority of patients suffered lower limb injuries, and the majority of persons who needed surgical intervention had a lower limb injury, more specifically in the leg, followed by the thigh bone, followed by the foot and ankle areas. So one of the recommendations was, in addition to helmet wearing, that you use lower limb protective gear as well, so those areas are properly padded. In terms of the upper limb, the most common area injured was the forearm, so we recommended forearm guards as well for our riders. In terms of the helmets, not surprisingly, only 29% wore their helmet, and of those not wearing their helmet, the commonest reason was that they were going for quote-unquote a short distance. So public educational messages need to speak to the fact that it only takes 1 second to be in a significant crash, whether it be a major injury or death. So just going up the road doesn't mean that you don't put on your helmet. And we've found similar things in terms of wearing seatbelts as well, which of course we're not here to talk about today. Another significant finding was the fact that alcohol, 37% of the study population had consumed alcohol within 3 hours of the crash. Unfortunately, because of lack of breathalyzer testing or blood alcohol levels, I cannot speak conclusively to cause and effect, but what we did clearly find was that 84% of those who had consumed alcohol had needed hospitalization, and that was statistically significant.
Was it indicated in your study as well, Dr. Fletcher, if any of these motorcyclists, were falling asleep while driving?
No, we did not get that admission, if you wish, in terms of our analysis. In terms of causes, it was usually a combination of speeding and not sticking to the appropriate lane. So a lot of them were riding in the middle of the road on the unbroken white line. And we had a number of cases where motorcyclists were colliding into each other in the middle of the road. In terms of preventable crashes, over 80% of them were clearly preventable when we analyzed the data collection forms.
Over 80 were preventable, could have been avoided.
Correct. And so one of the major recommendations coming from that was island-wide formal training. Now, we have seen historically that when we had the training center in Westmoreland, that motorcycle fatalities went down that year. I don't recall the specific year, but it did occur one year when the training was in full swing. The training, I believe, is important not only to improve the skill set of the riders, which is a major issue, but also in terms of a place in which helmet distribution can occur, in terms of the certified helmets that we get donated from various international stakeholders from time to time, as well as to change the mindset of our riders in terms of acceptance for wearing protective gear and riding responsibly.
In terms of protective gear, the leg guard, the arm guard that you recommended, should the authorities move to make those things mandatory?
So that is something that I have recommended. However, I've gotten some pushback in terms of practicality, but I know that when it comes to backlash from voters, for example, that's always a concern from lawmakers, but I can only recommend what is ideal.
So are you saying that because of political expediency and the hunt for votes, and I wanted to speak frankly, Dr. Fletcher, that such a recommendation that safety gear to protect arms and legs, that our politicians are not keen on doing that because of what the potential electorate may say?
Well, I don't want to make a black and white statement, but I can only say that my recommendations have been met with a bit of caution.
Caution. I hear you on that. Keenan, for the thousands who are injured annually and those who die and, of course, are not available to the workforce, those 19 years and older, are the numbers significant enough to be robbing employers of potential labor and aiding the situation we're having with labor shortages in certain areas? Is that a stretch to make that connection?
So I think the scale of the number that you just mentioned at 10,000, which is broadly consistent with the same number that had been mentioned in the cost of care report, which was at 13,000, that is fairly significant in the context of the labor force, because you will look at, for example, a drop in unemployment of about 0.1 to 0.3% in a quarter, and that would represent the addition of around 10,000 people to the labor force. So yes, it's a stretch to say that all of those persons are available and willing to work in the labor force, but just assuming that a large majority of that 10,000 were working people and they were somehow not available either through death or through injury or significant injury that laid them off for a while. That is insignificant in the overall scheme of things. But I think one of the things we have not really spoken about as well is just the fact that there are persons who are on the roads who just simply should not be on the roads. You think about persons who willfully are driving without insurance. Their vehicles are passing in quote-unquote fitness tests. The vehicles that are not fit to be on the road are on the road. And I think even just licensing regime needs to be a little stricter, because it's not just about driver education. There are persons, on the road who just don't care about other persons on the road who try to do the right thing, and then you end up in an accident with these persons, and then many times the person who is the one committing the wrong ends up being alive, and the person who was trying their best, ends up dying. So there's also that element of unfairness. When you look at the cost of care study, it also mentioned that 90% of the crashes could have been avoided. So, just looking at 10% of the crashes that do happen that are completely unavoidable, if we were able to get it down back to that natural figure, then that would have a very material impact on the overall numbers going forward.
Assist with my listeners with understanding, Keenan, the role of insurance companies amid all this mayhem. Do they benefit from the status quo of the high mortality or fatality and injury numbers? Do they thrive when the numbers are low? What's the situation? How does that work?
Well, I mean, whenever crashes happen, if you are in an accident, or rather I should say, if you are not in an accident, and your premium ends up going up because other people end up being in accidents and general road safety is not where it's supposed to be, then, because insurance like that works in a pooled way. Everybody's risk is pooled. So if the risk goes up for one person or for one set of people, it goes up basically for everybody. And it's not fair. I don't want to say that insurance companies will benefit from it. That sounds a particular way, like by design. But it's just something that happens naturally because of the nature of insurance like this.
I'd like to say something quickly on the point of insurance. One of the other things that the study had found was that 25% of the riders had a license and another 25% were insured. I had quoted the overall number in terms of compliance with wearing a helmet to be 29%, but of those who had a license and insured, 67% of them wore a helmet. And so what it suggested was that those who are taking risks are uniformly taking risks.
Wow, take a chance and draw the short straw. That's what's happening. Dr. Fletcher, Keenan thought that the time is up on us. We've only scratched the surface. I suspect we'll be talking about this some months down the line. Thank you, gentlemen, this morning.
Thank you.
All right. Break time, back with more after these.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
7:51.
Hawkeye expresses heartfelt sympathy to all Jamaicans impacted by Hurricane Melissa. As we recover together, we remain committed to securing what matters most. The temperature by Hawkeye is
25 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 20 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Managing your investments with Sagicor is now easy as ever. You can fund stocks, repos, and do more seamlessly. Even get a clear overview of your portfolio performance on the enhanced Sagicor eBank platform. Want to experience effortless investment banking on Sagicor eBank? It's as easy as ever. Contact your Sagicor Investment Wealth Advisor today and update your personal information for access. Call 888-SAGICOR or visit sagicor.com for more information.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. The focus on road crashes, road fatalities, and its impact, economic impact, the health sector impact, all sorts of impacts. And we are seeing your comments in the YouTube chat. I see Herman Hyatt saying, I was in an accident, and every time someone speeds with me, I am scared. Grand Sam saying, I believe that the head of road traffic management is not doing well in my mind. He's null next to void, Grand Sam is saying. And I see here Mildred Hamilton saying that the road code should be taught in schools like other educational aspects. Road code should be taught in schools as well as other educational aspects of road safety.
Michael Clark, the laws of the road are not enforced. They say you must not ride without a helmet, and everywhere you go, you see riders without helmets. All are past police. Carishification says Jamaicans are saying they need proper roads to travel on, but yet the road fatalities are so high with these bad roads. I can't imagine what the fatalities will be with all smooth roads, and that's a very good point, because all of the various studies show you that the smoother the road, the better the surface, the wider the road, the more dangerous it is. The more crashes are likely to happen, especially in a city setting such as the KMA, which is vast.
Yeah. Herman Hyatt saying some of those who are driving, they don't have license and they do not know the road code.
Two Music Minds says the police, they're not even enforcing the laws. Man ride without helmet and proper gears. Taximen driving drunk, spliff in mouth, cell phone in hands.
Yes, My Jamaica says too much speeding and indiscipline. We need enforcement and harsh consequences. We are too indisciplined. And Grace Billy says a lot of accidents happen all because they call themselves shutter drivers, and they cause the biggest problems on our roads.
Mildred Hamilton, we've been singing the same song about road fatalities for so long. Irresponsible behavior is a major part of the problem. And I got a message here from a senior figure in the public sector who says, over 2 years ago, I reached out to the NRSC when they were having problems with cyclists and motorcyclists wearing helmets, and told the senior person at the NRSC that I would be willing to do a campaign with the Road Safety Council speaking about the importance of wearing a helmet. I told him I could also get cyclists who are well-known persons to speak about it also. He said he would reach out to me, and I never heard back from him. A short while after, I saw a campaign come out with one of the corporate companies. He says the gentleman is also on my Facebook page and knows that I now ride a motorcycle also, and it is an electric motorcycle, so it has another benefit for the environment. Point is that much of what has been happening over the past few years is just a lot of talking. George, show me the deliberate action to reach persons apart from talking. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? He says, when I fell off my bicycle the first time, my helmet saved me. It cracked in 3 places, which means it did its job because it's designed to take impact. One of the challenges is that persons also compromise on the quality of helmets because they go for the cheaper ones. On my bicycle, I also have rear light, radar that tells me when a car is coming and how far it is, and I have front lights. On my motorcycle, I wear protective gear. I have a dash cam on my helmet, and I have rear and front lights on. Even in the day, the rear one on the helmet is flashing. So a lot of safety being taken there by that individual.
And I see Josephine saying, sometimes when I go on the roads, some of those drivers, and Josephine says, sick my stomach, the way they behave on the roads. Yeah.
To Music Mind again, 99% of who crash are under the influence of liquor and weed. Yep. Fellow says Gary McKenzie, the head of PSAB, is very vocal, but the members who are doing the work are being overlooked.
And I see Vivian here, Vivian who met in an accident in St. Mary because a driver was speeding, came over into her lane. Vivian was saying she was not the driver, but of course a passenger in that car that the reckless driver crashed into. And Vivian says, I live in the USA, so my Medicare paid for it. 1 week in the hospital and 2 months in rehab. And Vivian says, I'm not the same person. I am almost 70. She says weed and liquor was a factor.
Gene Sutherland says they must stop issuing license to persons who can't read. And these drivers said it's not road code and book drive vehicle is steering, clutch and gas. How I say? Alex Smith says we can't continue to blame the driver, not those who sit inside those cars, buses and bikes and say nothing. In other countries, speed kills, and everybody acknowledges that is the point. He says in Jamaica, speed is a joy. Fabian Smith, Sir George, the police need to pay attention to taxis in Portmore. 3 to 4 people they carry in the front.
In the front?
Yep.
So...
Yeah, man. You've never been in a taxi with 4 people in the front?
No.
All right, let me explain. So the driver sits. One sits in the passenger seat. One beside that one. And then beside the second person in the passenger seat and the driver is another person. But this person sits with their legs straddling the gear shift.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So if the driver has to...
partly on the driver's seat side
Partly. And well, not even that, because imagine in the car where the central console is and the gear lever and everything else.
So that's
they
where the
sit
person
right
is sitting?
Yes, with their legs around the gear lever.
Jesus.
So remember, it's not stick shift anymore
Right.
with more speed. So you just put it in drive one time, and there you go.
But why you as a passenger?
Because you want to go work. That you'll say you want to go work, and you can talk, George, because you have car. Me have to go work, so I don't mind. And if you crash, so if a dirt.
Come on, man. But arrangements can be made in a George. Say, for example, I know a lot of country people. Them know, say, you know, Mr. Tom is a taxi driver. Mas George is a taxi driver. I need to get to work by 9 o'clock. All right, Mas Tom, I'm coming out 7:30. Don't leave me. Save a seat for me or something like that. So you wait until the 9th hour to leave out for work, and then you put yourself in that sort of position.
Yeah.
No, sir.
3 to 4 in the front, the man says in Portmore. What a thing. Yeah. Shandy Hamilton says the passengers are just as bad. Latoya says yes.
See what I'm saying? Because why would you sit there?
Yeah. Latoya says, yep, my nephew was one of 3 in the front of the taxi. All 3 died. You hear that now?
Yeah.
One of 3 in the front of the taxi, and I'm sure with the driver make 4. All 3 died. I bet you the driver live. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's the thing, and I saw a comment earlier, George, somebody saying a young lady was in a taxi, the driver was speeding, driving recklessly, and the passenger pointed it out and how she get cussed out for it by the driver. I'm saying if you're in a taxi, the driver or whichever car, the driver is speeding, driving recklessly, just say, I'm coming off right up there. So yeah, you don't need to cuss them out or point out that, listen, you're driving recklessly with me and other passengers in here, you're gonna kill us off. Just say, I'm coming off up there.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna stop at your stop and come out.
Yeah.
Don't keep up no argument with nobody, just say, I'm coming off up there.
Until we take these things seriously and realize that our lives are at risk, we're not gonna reach nowhere. And Jamaica is just lawless, and people don't care. Drive me as fast as you can, as long as you carry me go work, me no business. Let me take a chance. If we did that, so you remember, don't forget, COVID-19, and the TV reporter went downtown and talked to the man about wearing masks. He said, no, wear a mask, wife, a dirt. That's the attitude of so many Jamaicans.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:02.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
And across Jamaica this Monday morning, Monday, January 12, 2026. The St. James Municipal Corporation says it's intensifying its earthquake awareness and preparedness activities across the parish for the month of January. January is observed annually as Earthquake Awareness Month. This week, January 11 to 17, is Earthquake Awareness Week. The corporation says it will be hosting public education sessions in schools, businesses, and communities. It will also be conducting earthquake simulation drills. Mayor of Montego Bay, Councillor Richard Vernon, says the efforts are to inform residents about the best ways to safeguard themselves in the event of an earthquake. He is urging residents to participate in the programmed activities. Mayor Vernon was speaking at the Municipal Corporation's monthly meeting last week, Thursday. Also in St. James, the Health Department, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, has launched a $50 million integrated vector control program. It features 2 components, one to bring the number of mosquito breeding sites to below 25 per 100 houses, and the other, a rodent control program aimed at eliminating breeding sites. Mosquito breeding sites are currently recorded at 67.9 per 100 houses. The program commenced on December 29 and will run for 6 weeks. It involves increased deployment of environmental health personnel. Chief Public Health Inspector for St. James, Sharika Lewis, says the intervention is necessary as Hurricane Melissa has left several communities vulnerable to diseases. She says among the hazards is the unconventional water storage methods to which residents have had to resort. Lewis says under the program, residents in priority communities will receive replacement water storage containers with fitted covers. Over in St. Elizabeth, the police are seeking the public's assistance to locate a woman who has been missing since last week Wednesday. She is a 41-year-old Amiria Anderson of Morgan Square, Lacovia. She is of dark complexion, medium build, and about 5 feet 9 inches tall. Reports from the Lacovia police are that Anderson was last seen at home wearing a yellow dress. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Amiria Anderson is being asked to contact the Lacovia police at 658-206-7586. That's 658-206-7586, the police emergency 119 number or the nearest police station. That's it for Across Jamaica.
Start your year with purpose and pace. It's the JN Group Race for Hope 5K and Kids Fun Run 2026, happening Sunday, January 18th at Hope Gardens. Walk, run, or wheel through Jamaica's most iconic green space in aid of the redevelopment of Hope Gardens and women entrepreneurs in Western Jamaica affected by Hurricane Melissa. Bring the whole family. Register as a corporate team or come solo and be a part of the movement for wellness and restoration. Register now at runningeventsja.com. Registration ends January 13th. Let's race for hope.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Attention, Jamaica! This Monday, January 12, 2026, tune in live to ODPEM's Earthquake Awareness Week outside broadcast with Cliff Hughes on Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the ODPEM headquarters, 2 to 4 Haining Road. Join us as we highlight resilient Jamaica. We weather the storm and brace for the shake. The official theme for this year's Week of Readiness and Resilience. ODPEM leads activities across the island to educate Jamaicans about earthquake preparedness, from drills to school and community events. Stay informed, stay prepared, and help build a safer, more resilient Jamaica. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on Monday, January 12, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Join us as we highlight resilient Jamaica. We weather the storm and brace for the shake. The official theme for this year's Week of Earthquake Readiness. Catch us at the ODPEM headquarters, 2 to 4 Haining Road. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, 809, Jamaica's old area code. Saw someone in the chat say that, saying essentially that it makes no sense to drive properly because you'll crash anyway. I don't know about that. Yeah? I don't know about that. There are people who've lived several decades, whole lifetime, never been in a serious crash once, partly because they've been careful on the road.
I know a farmer like that in St. Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
And he's about 60.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And has been driving from his early 20s.
Mm-hmm.
He's never crashed.
And the thing is this, I was saying to you off air earlier that even if you drive carefully, people can still crash. But it's better to drive carefully, increase your chances of escaping unscathed. And I say to you, Tana,
yeah,
every time I drive anywhere, I thank the Lord that I get there safe.
How do you operate at stoplights? Because
nervous.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, look, even in broad daylight, you just look. You see,
it's not a laughing matter, you know. But
you see, coming down East Street, and from, say, you come Heroes Circle, or you come down East Street, past Gleaner and North Street, you come all the way down early in the morning.
Yeah.
You see, you come on them four-way stop there, you have to look everywhere because you don't know what fly. No, man, it
yeah,
a hell of a thing.
And that road out there, to come across over to the Digicel building.
Yes.
So you have stoplights, you come around the corner.
Yeah, man.
That light, listen, you would have shift out a little bit and look.
Yeah, man.
Because the cars, they're just speeding coming. I'm like, it's not your light.
No, doesn't matter.
Your light is on red. Yeah, but at stoplights, when it's your time to go, you can't just push out like that. Yeah, man, you have to look. Because somebody will just come and run into you because they're running the light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's this thing as well, George, about people. When you're tired, find a safe spot to pull over. Or if you're at a location, for example, the other morning, a Pro Box, navy blue Pro Box pulled out of Taboo at the hour of the morning when we were coming to work. And I'm saying this driver's just driving in a way that doesn't look right, middling the road, then moving to the left, then moving to the right. And then at the stoplight, taking a while to move off. I'm saying either you're intoxicated or falling asleep or both. I don't know, but something is not right there. And then on Hagley Park Road, the driver, he or she almost hit into the median and made like a quick swerve, caught back him or herself and proceeded. I'm saying clearly, you're drunk or you're falling asleep. Pull over somewhere safe, and you pass police station where you could go into the parking lot and get a nap.
Yes.
You're endangering yourself and others on the road.
Yes. And the toll booths of these little rest areas, I utilize them as well.
Utilize them.
I've lost count of the number of police stations and toll wait areas that I've driven into in the past, because coming from country where you go do football, you do a lot double header. You see, you left early in the morning, you did 2 games back to back, they did post-game interview, then you do a live TV report, and then you have to drive, come back to town. It's not easy, you know.
Yeah.
And then, so several times I find myself another way. I can't wait for reach a police station or reach the toll for just driving and shut my eye. If you say, all right, I'll sleep 5 minutes, wake up all 45 minutes later. It doesn't matter because I'm refreshed.
Absolutely.
And I can go again.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, you can't be out there and you're falling asleep around the steering wheel. That's not safe for anybody using the roads. Yeah.
All right, so we have with us an avid cyclist for decades now, who can speak to the safety precautions that cyclists who are responsible take, the safety precautions that cyclists ought to take, even those operating motorcycles, and what, if anything, has been done that impresses him where the authorities are concerned to help people protect themselves on the roads. Good morning, Mr. Chung. Good morning, Dennis.
Hi, George. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
Good.
I put it to you as a cyclist, Dennis. Do you feel safe on the roads?
It is not a safe place. what you have to do is take precautions when you're riding. We ride in groups, right? But sometimes we ride alone. And there are certain basic safety things to do. Number one, you always wear a helmet, right? And not just any helmet. You wear a good helmet. The one that we wear mostly is the one called with MIPS technology. Now, what MIPS is, you have to understand, is that when you drop, it includes technology where the helmet on the outside rotates and the head doesn't rotate, because if you drop the helmet is not able to rotate, it can snap your neck. Right? So in buying a helmet, we have to take those things into consideration. I fell the first time, and my helmet cracked in 3 places. I had no head damage. My shoulder was fractured, right? And I get a lot of chip up, but those things are repairable. When your head has an impact, then a lot of the times the damage is not reversible. And if my helmet cracked in 3 places, that means my skull could have cracked in 3 places also, right? But in addition to that, I have a radar on the back of my bike, so I can see how far a car is, and I can see how close, how fast they are moving when they're coming up to me. I have a rear light that is constantly flashing. I have a front light that is constantly flashing also. But even when we ride in the group also, we have certain hand signals and certain signals we shout to each other. Right? So if a pothole is coming up, the person at the front will call it. Right? So we're aware. So we take a lot of precautions. We also ensure that when you're riding, we ride not all totally off the road, right? For several reasons. Number one, it's easier to get a puncture because when the rain falls, the things goes to the side. But most importantly, you want to give yourself room. So when a car is coming up, if a car happens to swing in on you, you have room to move over. So those are some of the precautions that we take. And before you head out, very importantly, always check your tires and brakes on the bicycle or bike. That is one thing a lot of people don't do. They just jump up and go out there, and if the tire pressure is low, you're going to have a bigger problem when you're trying to stop. Right? So those are some of the precautions we take. I also ride a motorbike, and I ensure I always have on protective gear. Right? And you don't go a speed more than you can manage. And the other thing, very importantly, also is stopping distance. Right? So you have to anticipate what's happening, and always remember when you're on a motorbike or a bicycle, George, you can be dead right. So you are the smaller vehicle. Don't say because you are right, you're going to ignore the man who is coming to you. Right? You always have to be very defensive about where you're riding, and I find that a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
They just shoot through.
It's true, because a lot of people say, listen, in Jamaica, we drive as if there is no right of way. So I'm just cautious every time because there's no such thing as I have right of way, so I am proceeding, and you must stop because you don't have right of way. No such thing. Yeah? You have to be very careful. Tell me something, though. The recommendation from the orthopedic surgeon at St. Anne's Bay Hospital, Dr. Kerry Fletcher, was that, look, based on the trauma injuries that they treat and based on the people who don't make it, who come there as crash victims, especially those who crash off motorcycles, he has recommended, not just helmets, but a protective leg gear and protective arm gear. Do you think that those things should be mandated as a cyclist yourself?
Yeah, man. Well, cycling is different because you only get...
As a motorcyclist, rather, sorry.
Right, right. Because with cycling, you're going at a maximum of 30 miles per hour if you're in a competitive thing. But with a motorcycle, it's important, right? You have to have the proper gear and not just padding, right? People think that you just put on the pads on your knees and so. But the jeans and the material that is made of also is very important because when you slide
if the material is not the right material, it will rub off and it will affect your skin and your bones. Right? So it's not just the hard part around the knees and the hips, right? That is important because those are the big bones. But type of material, so both for the jacket and also the jeans or the pants, you must have that sort of material and padding. So the jacket, for example, has the padding on the shoulder, the arm, the elbow, and the back, importantly, because remember, you don't want to go down hard on your back and have a problem, right? But also the material that it's made of. When you slide, you want to make sure that it doesn't rub off and it goes onto your skin. But very importantly also, George, is the type of shoes you wear.
Yes.
Because the shoes that you wear when you cycle, when you're on a motorbike, it must have some ankle protection. Because bear in mind, when you think about it, if you drop and your ankle doesn't have protection and you hit your foot a certain way, your ankle's going to break.
Yes.
Right? So all of those things are very, very important for you to consider. And the type of helmet that you wear also is important. So a lot of people wear helmets with just the top of the head cover. But the chin cover is important also. So the full face helmet is what you should be wearing, because what you want is when you drop, if you hit your chin, you must have some protection there also, because you can hit up your head and break your neck.
Satisfied or dissatisfied with the level of public education?
I'm not satisfied with the level of public education. You know, I see this campaign about, you know, people must just wear a helmet. No, it's not just that. You need to, number one, get the right message across in terms of types of helmet, the quality of helmet, and also if you're really targeting the persons who are at risk, then you need to get the message out in terms of dancehall artists, influencers, and importantly, the people, the stations they listen to primarily, which is Tip FM and Ira FM.
Yes.
You need to have it all over, you know, but those stations particularly are where those people listen to. You know, so I'm not satisfied with what's happening out there in terms of the messages.
What about how the road surfaces, Dennis, and the importance of lighting?
The road surfaces are bad, and therefore it means that you have to, number one, cut down on your speed more and be more defensive, right? Now, the road surface in terms of potholes is one thing, but it's not just that. Even when the road surface is good, the weather conditions are important. So when the rain is falling and the road is wet, even if the rain is not falling, the road is wet, you're more prone to sliding, right? Because remember, you're just on these two small tires, you know, whether it's a bicycle or a bike. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times, people do not check on the quality of their tires. The only thing saving a lot of people from an accident, from being on the road and being upright, is the quality of your tire, you know. But a lot of people don't check the quality of the tire. They buy cheap tires, number one, right, which does not have the grip, particularly when you're going around corners. But then they leave the tires on for a long time, and tires that are there over a period of time, even if it's not used, they're going to dry rot. Mm-hmm. And when that pressure hits them, you are on that bicycle or bike with an additional 160 pounds on top of those tires, going around a corner, right, and you're going around at speed. It's going to give way. It's rubber. The rubber has a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know. So people, and then you don't check the pressure of your tires going out on top of that. You have a bigger problem. That's a double problem that you have. So the road surface, as I said, is not just the quality of the roads, right? It is also the condition, the weather conditions and everything. You have to consider all of those things.
Thank you for your time this morning, sir. Very much appreciated. The people in the YouTube are saying that they appreciate your contribution.
No problem.
Excellent.
Right.
Thank you, Dennis.
Valmax says, George, in Wales, you have to drive a clear car length behind a pedal cyclist. And in overtaking, it's like you're overtaking a big unit as the wind might blow them in your path. Here, we take gauge. Mm-hmm. So true. So true.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:24.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
A tip for safe and responsible gambling. Gamble on a budget and don't use money needed for unnecessary expenses. For information on responsible gambling, call RISE at 888-991-4146. A message from the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Attention, Jamaica! This Monday, January 12, 2026, tune in live to ODPEM's Earthquake Awareness Week outside broadcast with Cliff Hughes on Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the ODPEM headquarters, 2 to 4 Haining Road. Join us as we highlight resilient Jamaica. We weather the storm and brace for the shake, the official theme for this year's Week of Readiness and Resilience. ODPEM leads activities across the island to educate Jamaicans about earthquake preparedness, from drills to school and community events. Stay informed, stay prepared, and help build a safer, more resilient Jamaica. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on Monday, January 12, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Join us as we highlight resilient Jamaica. We weather the storm and brace for the shake. The official theme for this year's Week of Earthquake Readiness. Catch us at the ODPEM headquarters, 2 to 4 Haining Road. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Malcolm, good morning.
Pleasant good morning. How are you?
Good, sir. How you do?
I am blessed. And greetings to you and the rest of the staff.
Yeah,
now, as it relates to motorcycle safety, I'm going to give you two testimonies of two accidents and the outcome. There was this guy who lived out in St. Thomas, very fast rider. And when helmets were just introduced, he was riding and he had an accident. And he fell off the bike. And he was giving his testimony after because he walked away from the accident. Boy, you want to say, me drop on me head and the helmet slide me, move across the road and me lick up in one wall and the helmet bust me now, wear no more helmet. I said to him, you fool, the helmet saves your life. I said, if you never have the helmet, is your head slide across the road if you slide so far and your head would have burst? He said the helmet burst when he hit the wall. I said, is your head would have burst? I said, you need to realize the helmet just saved a life. The truth is, later he died from another motorbike accident because he wasn't wearing the helmet.
Yes.
He did one foolish one.
Stupid man.
And didn't wear it. So the head burst this time. Now, there was another accident including a guy. This one didn't happen in Jamaica. It happened in the United States, but it's worthwhile saying it because it is relevant. He was riding and a lady came across the road, like just came out in the lane on him, and he was going pretty fast. And he changed 3 lanes, and the lady kept on coming from a side road. And eventually, she hit him. And he was airborne for about a good 20-30 feet. And when he hit the ground, one of his lungs collapsed. He said it was one of the most painful experiences he had. And he also, when he hit the ground, he slid for another maybe 30 more feet or so. He was wearing a firearm as well. But he hit on where he slid, the firearm, part of the frame of the firearm rubbed out on the asphalt. But he was wearing his turtle suit, which protected his back. He was in full armor, so to speak. And the only thing happened, because he was airborne for a little while, when he hit the ground, one of his lungs collapsed. If he just hit the ground at the precise point of the accident, he wouldn't have had any injuries. Because he was well clad in the elbow, the hand, the knuckle, the knees, and that leather ankle guard shoe that the gentleman just spoke about earlier.
Yes.
So he was well clad. So what people need to recognize, that motorcycle is not just jumping and riding. It's a very expensive sport. If you want to ride, you better know you're going to spend on safety equipment, because it's not a car that the car itself is around you.
Right.
You are now you can't strap yourself to a motorbike.
Yes.
And when you crash, the bike stops, but you keep moving.
Yes.
People need to recognize that. So safety, motorcycle safety is important. And plus, the gentleman, the orthopedic surgeon who spoke to you earlier, he was also mentioning training. I think in America, when you're going to do motorcycle riding, you've got to go to school.
Yeah.
It's not a
mandatory training.
About it. It's mandatory. You got to go to the school and learn the safety, the riding, and you cannot get your license without your helmet.
Yeah.
You will not get it.
Yeah, the motor in Jamaica say you fight poor people. So there you go.
Right? Because it's a school that gives you all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to buy all those.
Yeah, man.
Right? And the teacher and this. People die not hearing it,
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, man.
But the bottom line is you cannot acquire your license without you having it.
Give yourself a better chance. Thank you this morning, Malcolm.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, man. Philip Jackson in the chat says, George, I'm asking from morning, why as a motorist should anyone keep a camera on you for you to do the right things? Yeah? It's a darn good question. It's the same thing I've been asking, Philip. Why should anybody tell me as a motorcycle driver that I should wear a motorcycle or wear shoes? You don't have to tell me that. Yeah? Why should you tell me that I shouldn't have my cup of rum in my hand when I drive a motorcycle?
Mm-hmm.
Cup of rum, spliff on your bird, a.k.a. your mobile phone. You know, nobody's supposed to tell you that. Yeah? Who else we have, King? Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Barkin, Encyclopedia.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Lady T.
Morning to you.
George, I can remember one day I was in Rhode Harbour. Right at, Bras Drive on the next street there.
Yes.
And a motorist put on a hazard light to send a girl from St. Catherine High School across the road.
Mm-hmm.
And a bike man just come overtake,
Yeah, man.
And one little girl,
Mm-hmm.
she went up herself.
Mm-hmm.
And police come and rush her to the hospital.
Yes.
But I know a lady who know in person. So I always investigate about her. But she recover.
Yes.
You see, when I no George?
Yes.
I know the was all congested.
Yes.
Nobody can say me across the road and me stand up and me just go across,
Yes.
Me keep looking because the bike man then not stop. You understand? They keep overtaking everything. They overtake. Then just come on around and then signal, brother.
Yes.
But I was listening to Turner this morning. Tell say if you're tired, stop and rest. I talk about the Provox man this morning. When I was there, I was on the street one day, coming down, and a man keep going across the road, two side, and I was taking him, and you know what happened? I sleep,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the conductor just stop, just showing him, and he wake up.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yes.
So if people driving, and they feel sleepy, stop and sleep.
That's right.
Move up and sleep.
That's right.
Anyway, next thing quickly. You don't tell me big up Mr. Tongo, big him up, big up.
Yeah, man.
When I know him, as a young man, I never know him, he was in cycling. He was driving a yellow BMW.
Yes.
But what I know about him, he is one of the most humblest young man I've come across.
Yes.
He's from a wealthy family.
Yes.
And anybody could stop my road and talk to him.
Yes.
Anybody.
Yeah,
you know the military man, no George.
We never know that.
Yeah, man, a big fan, man. You know, so one big house up on top of big fan. When a big fan come down, you can't cross.
A female is that?
With the same band and the same serious slave.
Yeah.
And my brother used to be a counselor in the Bruce Good in days, I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, but anyway.
All right, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Sharon Bless said, don't care. No value on their lives. Timothy Reed says, George, 90% of drivers in Jamaica could not drive here in the UK. Number one, they could not get a license because they could not pass the tiered test. Paulie GL says, no way, not in Florida. Philip again says, all we're talking about these information that driver needs. They are not foreign to them. They are just disobedient and careless. KTB Weller says parents need to ensure that kids wear protective gear as well. It may look simple, but they need to wear it.
Yes, the bicycle riders.
Yep.
Kids who are riding the bicycles also need to wear their protective gears, their guards, and their helmets.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:34.
Jamaica's largest tile selection just got even bigger. Discover what's new at Active Home Center. With our latest arrivals, it's easier than ever to make your space truly unique. Explore ocean blues, botanical greens, and soft sandy neutrals that bring a calm, effortless vibe. From bold patterns to sleek, large format tiles in glossy or matte finishes, every room makes a statement. Shop now at Active Kingston and Montego Bay. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
Managing your investments with Sagicor is now easy as ever. You can fund stocks, repos, and do more seamlessly. Even get a clear overview of your portfolio performance on the enhanced Sagicor eBank platform. Want to experience effortless investment banking on Sagicor eBank? It's as easy as ever. Contact your Sagicor Investment Wealth Advisor today and update your personal information for access. Call 888-SAGICOR or visit sagicor.com for more information.
I was saying to Tana off here that those who will tell you that how them poor and them broke, they themselves are saying so, you know. But if you see them drink more Hennessy than people who have money, you know. I swear, every morning they have a cup of Hennessy, every evening. Where you get money by it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, anyway. East Central, good morning.
Morning, Master. My name is Tana.
Morning, sir.
Judge, I also ride a 2022 missile, no. But I always wear my helmet. Remember, one time 2015, I did have one red 2015 Zumjek. And Judge, you know, some go power hills on a Granville, first time riding, no. Go power hills on a Granville, on a Falmouth. Right at top of Granville School, overlooking the safety, children's safety, right across. I just go up on the hill, no, Judge. I miss my road. So here my friend them always tell me say squeeze the clutch on the bike neutral up when me I come down. So when me squeeze the clutch, you know, my judge, the bike neutral up so they come down fast off I is no me I just put it on, you know, not knowing to have to squeeze the clutch that time go up it.
Well, you're lucky, you know.
Yeah, it's a judge, I'm night too, you know.
Oh Lord. Well after me, you're lucky.
Some people go out and say bike money, alright.
Oh,
so you have a good man. You can't start.
You see, but we see the importance of lessons though, because if you are the formal training in the East Central, you don't know what to do, you would not take full advice, you know.
No, I don't full advice. I'm a little brother, they give me one bike 2015 to go alright. See, I end up on veranda with me today.
Yeah.
Just come in the yard.
Yes. Well, I tell you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my experience riding motorcycle.
Yes.
And it has advanced to a professional level now till I have a rider's license.
Yes.
And a driver's license.
Yes.
So it has advanced within the past years because the years of experience having the motorcycle without a rider's or you have to elevate yourself and advance. So I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can walk down to the BICI now and push my documents and get it up to standard.
Yes, your paper is straight.
I have to straight my dad, man, like you said, I have to straight, man. Why you take things for?
All right, sir. I hear you. I hear you, sir. I hear you this morning.
Yeah, I remember you speak about the Western Region Water Expo, and the day after you come back from down Falmouth, you speak to Mr. Samuda and the Belfield well.
Yeah.
So I want you to give me an update on the Belfield well, because I know that I passed the Belfield, because I live on the property of Belfield now. My tax is property register Belfield. So outside of that, I want you to get an update on the Belfield well, because from the day you spoke about it, and I see one length of pipe lay across the road. I still remember seeing one length of pipe lays across the road until about 2 days ago in my past.
I'll get an update for you.
Yes.
All right.
So
respect.
That is the plus. And over in Westmoreland, I speak about the Roaring River, and Wednesday and Dr. Taylor, I know that they have visited the Roaring River in Westmoreland about Friday. Mr. Matthew Samud and other person visit.
Yeah.
So those are improvement in terms of visiting the relevant site and the affected site where people have been devastated.
Work is underway there, East Central. I believe the energy minister said that persons who benefit from that facility should have water back in their pipes by January 15.
And if I never raised the matter on Radio Jamaica, it wouldn't seem as it would have been fast-tracked, although they would have the mind and the ability of going down there. But when people speak about some of these issues, it raises alarm, so they have to get up and go and see how best they can respond to the citizens.
Yeah, man. But by January 15, Roaring River should be fine.
Yeah, because I have a friend live down there, you know.
Yeah, man.
All right, thank you, East Central.
Thank you this morning, sir.
Thanks very much, sir.
All right, good.
Tana.
Yeah. Benjamin, morning.
Morning, George and Tana.
Morning, Benjamin.
Quickly, regarding the motorcyclists, two things I noticed. I think Dennis mentioned one. One, they have on a helmet, but they don't have it on. So the part that should cover the chin, they have it on their forehead.
Yeah, man. It catch.
So, you know, if somebody should bad drive them or something, they must focus on catching the helmet more than trying to do defensive riding.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know, that's another thing. And then they have on the helmet and they don't hook it. If they don't hook it, it doesn't serve no purpose.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And then now, you know, as Dennis mentioned, you have on a helmet that only cover part of your head.
The German style helmet, the black one there.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and then now, when the helmet drop off now, a car coming in the opposite direction now, driving, I try to save, probably not mashing the helmet, somebody will still come down, booming at them car back.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think the rules are there, the laws are there, they just need to enforce them.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Yes, indeed, sir.
That's my part.
Thank you, Benji.
Listen.
All right, good. All right, let's take some birthdays. I see Annie Smith saying it's Macca Diamond's birthday today. Happy birthday, Macca Diamond. Yeah? All the best to you.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:41.
Sometimes when life's poison arrows shoot me to the ground, yourself to me, give it all. I just wanna see, I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it, I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, oh, you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, best part.
Is this sunrise?
That time of the morning when we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. This one dedicated to a wonderful, lovely woman, Susan Wilson Brooks. Sue, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Sue. Coming from your husband, Dennis, your son, Jackson.
Of course.
And this special message here says as well, happy birthday, my Depan Mikias friend, Suzanne Wilson Brooks. Prosperity upon top of prosperity. Love you, darling, from Simone. So, from the entire Nationwide family,
Yeah, man.
your husband, Dennis, your son, Jackson.
Yeah, man.
Simone, everybody.
And Judge.
And Judge. Everybody, Sue is
Happy
wishing
birthday,
you
Sue!
a lovely birthday. And this one is dedicated to you from your husband. If you could pull it up, Jermaine, from your husband, Dennis.
You're the coffee that I need in the morning. You're my sunshine in the rain when it's pouring. Won't you give yourself to me, give it all. I just wanna see, I just wanna see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it, I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, oh, you're the best part. Oh, you're the best part. Oh, best part.
Is this sunrise and those brown eyes? Yes, you're the one that I desire.
Also celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday to Council Nicolette Wright Black. Nicolette, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. This one says, I love and appreciate you always, from your day one, Simone. So happy birthday to you, Council Nicolette Wright Black from Simone. Over on Facebook, happy birthday greetings going out to Anne-Marie Palmer. Happy birthday as well to Carolyn Ross, Shireen Leckie, Jen Bernard. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for all of you a great day. Happy birthday to the wonderful Adassa Dawkins, a very special mother, aunt, church sister, and grandmother to many. She is celebrating her 80th birthday today, and we thank God for her long and fulfilling life. Have a great day today, Miss D. Greetings are coming from your dear friend Sandra Morgan, the rest of the Morgan's family, and the East Windermere Place Massive as a whole. So happy birthday to you, Miss D. Happy birthday to Tanya Powell Edwards, from your daughter Jada, son Daniel, and your husband Ezra. Wishing you the best for this year, and that God grants you many more birthdays. So happy birthday to you. Also today, happy birthday greetings going out to Arthur Winter. And this one says, our mother Ellen's firstborn over in Markham in Canada, celebrating his 76th. Well, it was on Sunday, so belated happy birthday to you, coming from Llewellyn Winter here in Jamaica. So happy birthday to you, Arthur.
Happy birthday to the wonderful Adassa Dawkins, a very special mother, aunt, church sister, and grandmother to many. She's celebrating her 80th birthday today, and we thank God for her long and fulfilling life. Have a great day today, Miss D. Greetings from your dear friend Sandra Morgan, the rest of the Morgan family, and the East Windermere Place massive as a whole. So Adassa Dawkins, a lot of people sending happy birthday greetings to you as you celebrate your 80th birthday, Miss D. All the best, especially from the Morgan family, led by your dear friend Sandra and the rest of the crew at East Windermere Place.
Yeah, so Miss D gets a double greeting this
yeah,
morning.
Man, she get it twice from me. Me hearing but me have to do it, you know what I mean? Because him just said it, someone else deal with it, you know? Yeah, man.
Happy birthday as well. This one says to my wonderful wife Denise, the love of my life, my best friend and partner and everything. May your day be filled with the same joy, beauty, and endless blessings you bring to my world, filled with laughter, love, and everything amazing you deserve. Love you always. From David of the 3Ds.
3Ds. Big up, David. That was yesterday, bro. It was a Sunday birthday, you know. Yeah, man, I be a D's in the family, man. D's, the A-class people with the D first name. So David, Denise, yeah, man. Belated happy birthday greetings to Denise. Dominic, big up yourself this morning, sir. Youngster.
Over on the YouTube chat, Fiona, it's your birthday, 54 years old today, Fiona. Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a lovely one. Happy birthday. Scrolling on down.
Dexter Daps is his birthday today. Annie Smith telling us to give him a shout out to the man who gave us Shabba Madapat and a whole Cocos bag of hits. Dexter
Breaking
Daps.
news.
Yep, breaking news.
It's Dexter Daps' birthday.
Bring up Dexter. Yeah, Napa. Yeah, man.
Indeed. Happy birthday to you, Dexter Daps. Happy birthday as well. Gatti MC says, so big up my dear friend Sally Carter on her birthday. Sally, it's your birthday today. Your friend Gatti MC is wishing you a happy birthday and says, I wish for you God's richest blessings on your life and prosperity. Enjoy your day, my friend.
Etta has a lot to say, including belated greetings for Marcia Ogilvy, her sister who celebrated on the 9th, her niece Claudia White on the 10th, her friend Gloria Facey on the 11th, and to Anne-Marie B, who celebrates today, the 12th. So Marcia Ogilvy, belated happy birthday greetings to you. Claudia White, belated happy birthday greetings to you. Gloria Facey, yours was on Sunday, belated greetings to you as well. Anne-Marie, today is your day, so happy birthday to you all, coming from Etta Barkley.
Misty Blue Cancer Care Foundation sending happy birthday. This one says to my favorite and only child, Mario Everton, Shamir Satchwell. Over there in Cambridge in England, you will always be my sunshine. So Mario Everton, Shamir Satchwell, it's your birthday today. Your mom is sending you happy birthday greetings, saying to you will always be her sunshine.
Veron Jack Spinnock says happy birthday to Renee Richards, a year 3 FACS student at Michael University College, and a belated birthday to Michaela Barker, who celebrated a few days ago. Happy birthday, ladies.
Maisie McKenzie says her 70th birthday was on Saturday. Hey, Miss Maisie, good morning to
Morning,
you.
Maisie.
Belated happy
Amazing
birthday
Maisie.
to you, amazing Maisie. Hope you had a wonderful day on Saturday celebrating your 70th birthday.
Michelle Martin has a message for you, Tona.
Michelle,
Says-
where you at?
She says, TT, today's my birthday.
Okay, I'm seeing it now. Michelle with a gift box. It's your birthday today, Michelle Martin. Wherever we find you this morning, sending you happy birthday greetings. Wishing for you a lovely day, as lovely as you are. Are those all the birthdays now? If you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary as well.
Breaking my
skedaddle out of here now. That's about it for the show this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in to NTM Nationwide this morning, the big show. Thanks so much to our technical operator and the musical maestro, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith, and our super editor in the newsroom, Kimone Thompson. Vanessa Francis sending happy birthday greetings to Major Nanith Black, retired, celebrated her 70th birthday yesterday. Belated happy birthday greetings to you, Major Black. Greetings from Johnny and Vanessa Francis. Wishing you continued good health. The message I'm seeing here is saying it was yesterday. Oh, so it's today. All right, so it's your birthday today, Major Nanith Black. 70 years old today, and wishing for you a wonderful one.
Black is always major.
Indeed.
Always.
Indeed. Up next, your girl is back. NGB, Norgay Banton with Consumer R, and at 10, CliffViews Online. I'm Tana.
And I'm George.
Good morning.
You just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.